What's up, yo? This Rom coming back at you with yet another office video. Only a woman can judge a man's sex appeal. Only a woman. And we're talking in heterosexual relationships. For all the moist dudes, hey, if you want to judge another man, if that's how you flow, hey, do you? But seriously, man, dude, and I gotta call this shit out, man. And I've called it out before, man. You got guys going to other men asking them how they look, and now they starting to ask other men how their sex appeal is. As a man, it's stupid as shit to ask another man how you are sexy to a woman, because you're not having sex with that man. Like I say, if you with them, okay, but it's stupid as shit to ask a man your sex appeal to a woman. Only way you could really know, you gotta ask some women. And preferably more than one. You can't even ask just one woman, because one woman might see you as sexy, the next one don't. And you need to get a consensus. Because you get some guys and they be like, well, this man said to do this, this man said to do that. You really don't know what a particular woman says. Now, I know some people say, well, Rom, you say body game and get this body. My shit based on not just personal experience, but the men who actually get into play. And even then, I'll ask some women. I mean, when I was first selling my book, Nice Guys and Players in Sexual Chemistry, and some dudes would come up and buy the books, I'd have my wife there, or sometimes I had some women, and I'll say, what's up with that dude? What's up? And even to this day, all my female friends, I'll say, okay, what type of guys y'all checking out? I've done that on my woman's channel. In fact, I'll share the link to it. All right? Because that's the thing. Y'all got to get off of that. Because it's stupid. It's counterproductive. Why would you ask... Seriously, I want y'all to think about something. If you wanted to play ball, you wanted to make a ball team, who do you ask? Who do you talk to for what you need to do? Someone who actually plays that sport or even coaches, or someone who at best watches. Who's going to know more? Think about it. I want y'all to really think about that, because you got some guys, they're going off what a man thinks, but that man don't have a vagina. Look, let me explain something with women. What they consider sexy, and like I said, I'll share the link where I asked some women on my women's side what they consider sexy. If you think about it, with a woman, when they're looking at sex appeal, what's one of the main things that's going to make the decision for it? Their vagina, their tingle. And with women, yes, they looking at your physical appearance, but then they looking at behaviors, they looking at stuff, and then you get some women, they looking at some shit you ain't even thinking about. Because for all the women I've talked to, or interviewed, surveyed, and everything, it never fails that some woman has something that you ain't thinking about, and you just don't know. And even then, you gotta go with that, because you don't know what turned on that woman. I've met women who said they turned on by short guys. I've met women who say they turned on by older guys, and they were very specific why. Like some of the ones who were turned on by short guys, they were like, yeah, because they know they're gonna work harder. Some women, they turn on by older guys because they say, you know what, they know what they're doing in the bedroom. They're gonna take their time and shit. You know, some women like a dude with a little bit of ugly, because they feel like he gonna work harder. And this is just the women saying this shit. And you don't know. And first of all, for every particular woman, you just don't know. You just don't know. And it's a waste asking a dude, are you trying to fuck that dude? You trying to appeal to other men? Because you got too many men trying to appeal. They listening to a man saying, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Instead of saying, well, hold up, what are the women actually going for? Because women be laughing at a lot of shit. I remember I saw this it was like one of those incel things where they be having the Chads and the Slayers and, you know, the normies. And it was shared on a woman's Reddit. And the women on the Reddit, they were checking out the normies more. Because you don't know. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Let me explain something. See, a lot of men don't understand a woman's sexual nature. Because they ain't been with any or been with very few. It could be the slightest thing that turns them on and shit. It could be the slightest thing. You know, like I said, let me use that thing with the looks thing. I mean, I've lost count of how many women to this minute say they like a guy with a little bit ugly, or they say he ugly sexy and shit. Now, it might not make sense to a man, especially a man who think it's all about looks. But I'm like, well, she the one getting wet. Because he understands something. Now, I've talked about imprints. And see, the imprint is the subconscious blueprint of the first 2 or 3 men that a woman sleeps with. You don't know what they look like. I know this woman, she was fine, but her first one was a big old dude. Her first one was a big old dude and stuff. And shoot, that shit stays. That shit stays. So every time they'll feel a tingle, especially if he made her come. She's gonna feel a tingle every time she sees someone similar. You don't know. See, you don't know what the situation was, what the circumstances was. And I'm gonna tell you something. Let me explain something with women. Women everyone got a certain sexual threshold, a freak threshold. You don't know what it is. In fact, we talked about that yesterday in the boiling point of body game and stuff. Me and Chauffeur. You don't know. It could be your shoulders, your arms, whatever. You don't know what turns on a particular woman. You know, shoot. Some women, hey, as long as you got a print, that might be all. You can look like whatever. I remember this young girl one time. She was talking about this dude. And she was saying, yeah, I mean, this dude had some, rest his soul, he had something genetic with his face that's messed up. I forgot what it was called. Totally jacked up. And this woman, she said it with a group of people present. She said, you know what, though? He probably got the perfect dick. And that's all she needed, because we knew how she rolled. You get some women like that. As long as you got a good joint, that's all they need from you. You don't know. You don't know with a particular woman. Now, we can talk in general. If you go by the men you see getting the women. Like real life, though. Real life. Not what you speculate. Like you know some actual players and who they get. And that's why I say it's different. And even then, even with some players, they usually get into whatever their tribe is. That's why I say tribe. Talk about tribe. Because I'm going to tell you something now. And it's deeper. If you really look at people, there's obviously different body types out here and stuff. Like when you see some of those women, those thicker women and stuff. You get those thicker women, I mean, shapely, curvy and stuff. Oh, they might go more for that big, that bigger dude. And I've seen that constantly. But then you get that woman who's like more slimmer, got that kind of athletic build. Okay, she might look for that more slimmer dude. And then again, a woman who's curvy, she might want a slimmer dude. It's different. And see, the best a man can do is just fix yourself up to the best extent possible and see who like it. That's why I emphasize tribe and stuff. That's why I emphasize it. Because I'm going to tell you something now. Every man got somebody who's going to like him. If you just pay attention without them doing anything. I look at my sons. In fact, I've made a lot of observations looking at them and stuff. My youngest son, he's more stocky. He's more stocky, more solid. He came out looking like he benched. He came out the womb looking like he was bench pressing. He got a certain type. I noticed the women, his girlfriends, his 17-year-old, he's 5'9", 17 years old, and he's had a girl on his tip since he was a baby. Little girls be coming to the house and shit. That's why a lot of people be saying some shit. I'm like, that ain't been the experience here. And don't ask some corny shit about all his stats and shit. I would block you. Look, I told you enough. Okay, he get a certain type of woman, but then my oldest, he get a certain type of woman. And I just say stick with who like you. But the thing is, you can't, another man can't attack you. I'm going to tell you what. Asking a woman, like, okay, you got these people doing face ratings and shit. It's better to ask a woman. I wouldn't, if I ever thought about paying for someone to rate my face, it had to be a woman. And it had to be several women. I would never ask another man. And shit. That shit moist. Let's just be real. I'll say it. If I had to, I'll say it to somebody. I'll look them in the eye and say it in the face. I'm outside of Baltimore. Seriously. Because too many men caught up into what the other guys are saying. You need, if you want to know, I'm going to tell you something. Just let me break down something in general. Only way you're going to know how you really stand with women is if you interact with women. I mean, in the real world. That's going to tell you everything. Even for what I tell you. What do I always tell you? I'll always say, despite what I say, go out and see what works for you. See what body type works for you. See what kind of conversation work for you. See what clothing style work for you. I'm just giving a perspective. You can't follow it word for word. You gotta like go out and say, okay, Rom told me to do this in general. Okay, I'm gonna have to tweak it here. I'm gonna have to tweak it there. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. But it's some bullshit when a man asks another. You get some men, they're afraid to go out. They're afraid to interact with women because another man told them they don't look good. I mean, I've seen several situations over the decades and stuff. Over the decades since I was young. You get some man talking about a man's looks. They say, he don't look like all that. But then some women, they look at the same guy like he fine. Seriously, man. Seriously. And people say, why you addressing this? Man, you see what's happening out here in the world. I don't get into some political discussions and everything, but let's be real. A lot of shit changes when men stand up. That's my thing. That's my thing. But if some men caught up, they can't stand up if they caught up over whether some other man don't think they look good. I want y'all to think about that. Got some low self-esteem because they paid some man to look at them and shit. Or they going by that or what a group of men say. It's more, you got to be more concerned what a group of women say. And let me address that. Because I've actually had some dudes hit me up. And they said, well, how do I look? Or women say this. And I asked them straight up, how many women said that to you? Specifically said, they never answer. How many women have told you that? How many women? They never answer. Now, if they say, well, you know what? I talked to 1,000 women and 1,000 women say that I look like this. Okay. That's never happened. Because I'm being honest. Hey, look, let's just be real. If a woman rejects a man, most of the time she don't tell him well. He could look good, she'll reject him. You don't know. Unless, how many guys have actually said, can you say 5 women have, at least 5 women have told you you look ugly? Like, no joke. And don't just write it just to write it. Don't write it just to write it. At least 5. And even then, what about the other 100 that you might have encountered? Hell. Because everybody been called whatever. Focus on the ones who like you. I told when I saw this thread, somebody showed me this thread on Lipstick Alley, they were talking about me. You had some women, they were like, ooh. Okay. Some other women like he fine. Ron fucks with the fine ones. All right? So, focus on what the women saying because you trying to get up in them. That's where you try to go. So why worry about what's a man saying? That's why I even say get your best body and see who it work with. You notice I don't say it's specific and stuff. The best I can tell you is, okay, this is what I've seen work in general. But I've seen everything work. I've known some short players, some players that would be considered ugly by the women say they were. Some tall ones, some big man players and everything. And that's something I need to address anyway. I might address that shit anyway. You know? That's something else I need to address. You know? A lot of guys going on what they think but not what they know. You know what? I'm going to talk about that in the next one. I'm going to talk about it. That's going to be part 2 to this, all right? I'm going to do another one in normies, all right? So, anyway, I'll talk to you.